What's up, you guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yuri Choi, and I am back here on YouTube. It's been a minute, so I'm so glad to be back here. Okay, so today I want to combine a few topics that I am very passionate about, and one of them being this whole topic of AI and the fears around it and the mindset that we get to have around it. Recently, I was approached by a tech company that combines the technology of AI, blockchain, and they were actually proposing this idea that they potentially have one of the ways that they can, contribute to UBI and this world being truly an abundant world. So for those of you who are not familiar, UBI is universal basic income. Actually, recently I started paying attention to this topic because Elon Musk was talking about it and how there is a big chance that with the rise of AI technology and these creations of robots, all these exciting things happening in the world, there is a big chance that in our in our generation, while we are alive in the next few years or next few generations, that UBI could become a possibility. Now, what does this mean though? Because just because it's a possibility doesn't mean it's going to happen and doesn't mean that we are prepared for it. Let me explain what this means because, a lot of people have shown some kind of fear around AI. Like, oh, what if all the robots and AI take my job? What am I going to do? What kind of job am I going to get? Like, if they take our jobs, what are we going to do with ourselves? How are we going to make money? Now, the whole point of having this technology, having AI, having robots, is that we don't have to work, and that might actually be a beautiful thing. How many times in your life growing up or just at your desk at the job that you probably don't love, you've told yourself many times you don't want to be there anyway. How many times have you said, oh my gosh, like I wish a robot could do this for me. This is a job that anyone can do. This is a job that a freaking machine can do. Why am I doing this? Well, guess what? um we started to create these solutions for that. And yet, when the very thing that people have been manifesting comes, people are scared. The initial reaction to that potential possibility that could potentially be really exciting, a lot of people are experiencing fear rather than excitement. So that's something that you can notice. Like, oh, how, you probably a lot of people that I know, well, not in my immediate circle anymore, but that I have known in the past, they don't even like their job. They don't even want to be there. Yet, when there is the possibility that they don't actually have to be there anymore, there's something about it that's scary to them. And let me tell you something, just like any tool out there, AI and robots, yes, it does have a potential to be dangerous. And it also has the potential to be very useful and benevolent, right? That's the word, benevolent. It's like any tool. We can pick up a fork, we can pick up a knife, and that can kill people, or that could help people live their life, cook beautiful meals in the kitchen or make their lives better. They can cut things that they need to when they're, building furniture. I don't know. So it's just a tool. However, how it manifests is actually going to be a direct reflection of where we are as humanity already. It's not going to do anything that humanity's not already doing. It's only going to amplify it. So the real work isn't trying to control AI, but the real work here is actually going back to the basics and really questioning if AI and robots were to amplify what we already are, would we be proud of that? Would we be excited for that? Or would we be scared of that? And if that's the case, what is the root thing that we actually get to address? And I think that's the harder question that we get to look at. Why are we scared of what's going to manifest from our deeper psyche or what we're already doing? And if that's the case, it's not the tool, it's the controller, it's humanity, it's the collective consciousness that gets to shift, that gets to be looked at. Now, the second thing that I want to bring up. If UBI is possible, if universal basic income was possible and everyone can actually live out of survival mode, it's going to cause more chaos than bliss and joy in the beginning of that transition. And I truly believe that's why we are actually being pulled as the collective to start to do the inner work. I don't know about you guys, but what I've noticed is that our generation really has been the pioneer in bringing mental health to to the public and making it not weird anymore, that it's actually praised, it's actually celebrated when people start to do the work. There's tons of books out there, more than ever before, on mental health, doing the inner work, becoming more conscious. And I really see a huge rise in this. And I don't think this is all happening as a coincidence. I think it's actually preparing us to what's to come. And it is the natural evolution of what we get to actually start to do. Because here's the thing, even if we can really live in an abundant world, most people are going to experience chaos rather than joy. And let me explain what that means. So, I was in the corporate world for 10 years before I started working for myself as a performance coach for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and leaders and high achievers, who are burnt out, and they're, really essentially, what I do is helping them move from burnout to living in that abundant reality, that abundant mindset. So before I did that, I was also kind of in this corporate world, and nothing wrong with being in the corporate world. It's just that I just didn't know there were any other options. It wasn't that I chose into it consciously. It was just like the next thing available, next thing available. So I just fell into it, not realizing there were literally infinite ways to make money. And also there was something that I felt purposeful about, that felt unique to me, that felt like a calling to me, which is exactly what I do now. But anyways, when I first quit my corporate job, I thought I was going to be stoked. I was so excited. Like, I was like, yeah, like I don't have to be at 9 to 5 anymore. But let me tell you something. The first thing I experienced was internal chaos. It had nothing to do with like, my fear of like moving into building this business or whatever. Yes, of course, that was new at the time. This was like 7 years ago now, 7, 8 years ago. But more fearful of, I didn't know what to do with all the free time. I did not know how to fill the time that I used to be just conditioned to fill by somebody else telling me what to do. I felt purposeful when somebody told me what to do and I got to do it. But that was the first time that I really had to challenge myself and say, well, what do I genuinely feel purposeful about? What is my purpose? And to understand my purpose, I had to understand who I was. Who the heck am I? Yes, I'm Yuri Choi. Yes, I'm Korean. Yes, I'm American. Yes, all these things on, the superficial level, but who really am I? Um, this is a question that really shakes people. Sometimes on my initial calls with my clients, my potential clients rather, I ask them a very simple question just to start off the conversation sometimes. And I say, who are you? And I don't mean it in any other way, but to genuinely see what they say. I want to know who they are. I mean, 99.9% of the time, people start with like, oh, my name is blah, or I do this. Like they lead with what they do. So many of us, our identities are so intertwined with what we do rather than who we are on a soul level. We don't even want to address that we have a soul sometimes because it's so like scary. I actually once had a potential client who was really excited to talk to me. And then I asked her this question. I'm like, who are you? She got so triggered that she like had to get off the phone. She was like, that is such a rude question. I was like, how is it a rude question? I just asked you who you are. Like, I just want to know who you are. I want to know what your soul is made of. I feel like that's a very valid, innocent question. Um, but because no one's asked her that, and because there was a fear of not knowing and this fear of looking bad because she felt like she didn't know who she was, she got so like flared up and she had to leave the call. That's only happened once, but I think that is not uncommon for people to really freak out when they have to sit still and figure out who they really are. What is my soul about? Who am I? With all these layers and masks and titles and names and, you know, gender identity, like if all of that was stripped, who the heck am I? And here's the thing, when people have nothing to do, so if they don't have to survive, if they don't have to work to survive to pay the next bill anymore, they're gonna have a lot of time to start to think about these things. And my prediction is that it's gonna lead to chaos before it leads to the elevation of collective consciousness. I think it's going to be so powerful when people start to question these things, but it's also going to bring up a lot of, suppressed fear. So I think that's the real challenge of AI. It's not the tool, it's not the robot, it's not the technology itself. How are we going to be able to actually tap into, well, one, having all that free time, and typically when people have free time, they think they know what they would do. And they have all these, dreams and all that. But that fear isn't going to be shifted right away. The fear of, oh, what will people think of me if I start doing this one thing that I'm passionate about? Would I look weird? Would I look stupid? Would I look uncool? Those fears are not going to go away right away. So then before people really tap into enjoying that freedom finally of potential not having to work to survive anymore, people are gonna go into internal chaos. This is why I think right now more than ever, it's so important to start to look at ourselves and do the inner work and do the deeper kind of exploring of what we are really made of. Because when this thing comes, it might be too late. You don't want to be a part of the group that is just entering the inner work and learning what your purpose is and trying to figure out what to do with all this free time. You want to be ready. You want to be going into it with, okay, like I have a plan. I know who I am. I know what I want to do with my time, and I know what I want to create. And I've, eliminated all these fears and blocks so that I can actually powerfully step into that right away and enjoy that abundant reality. And also, I mean, this is really going off of what I'm saying, but what that really means is a lot of us, even myself for a long time, we've been conditioned to live in a very fear-based, scarcity mindset. We're not going to be used to things just coming to us easy. If a robot can just go and do all the work that we don't want to do and make money for us, which by the way, there are starting to be possibilities of that happening, either behind the scene or some of y'all might know about it. Most people are not ready for that on a mindset level, like to actually feel truly abundant and not be driven by fear. So right now, I think it's important more than ever to start to work on our abundant mindset, because this is actually potentially going to be our reality. And in fact, it's always been our reality. Like everything on earth is technically free. We just start to put all these limitations on it. Actually, this whole process of undoing as the collective, is actually going back to who we really were. Things were always actually free. This is a complete sidetrack, but I have a theory that maybe Elon Musk is like a reincarnation of Nikola Tesla, who created electricity during like around the same time as Edison, by the way. And but his vision of electricity was actually free for the public. Edison wanted to make money. Obviously, we have like Edison, literally a company. That's why we pay for electricity, because Edison's model and vision of electricity was for profit. And Tesla's idea of electricity was it was going to be free for everybody. So anyway, a lot of these things are happening, and I personally think that Elon Musk is on that track to trying to make this happen. I mean, potentially, cars can run on solar. Um, internet might be free potentially, like with Starlink. It's a possibility that it can become really cheap over time, or if not, very, very, very like, close to free. I think these things are becoming possible. So my invitation for you is start to work on your mindset and to start to look at ways that you can actually free your mind from this fear-based mindset and to really understand that there is, first of all, we are already living in an abundant world, and to really start to understand what that means. At the end of June, I'll be starting a group coaching program called Rebirth. And this is going to be one of the things that I'll be focusing on is really helping people shift their fear-based scarcity mindset and stepping into the abundant mindset. I am so excited to be a part of this transition. And I'm so grateful that, obviously there's still things I am continuing to learn about myself and about how abundant truly this world is. And I think there's still going to be things I'm learning, but I really believe that this type of work, if you haven't been exposed to it, or if you've been exposed to it, but you don't really feel like you're living it, this is going to be really powerful work, not just for your current reality and what you can do in your business or in your personal life. I've helped many of my clients break their ceilings when it comes to their money, ceiling, their mindset around money, what money really is, how to actually step into an abundant, energetic state consistently so that you can actually feel good in the life that you're creating and you get to love it. I mean, all these things have massively shifted a lot of my clients' realities, or the way that they look at their reality that has always been there. And now they're able to actually enjoy the abundance that's there in a completely different way. So anyway, so this is happening. If you're curious about this, feel free to let me know. I'm so excited to roll this out. But anyway, I'm curious also what you guys think about all this. I know I kind of like, just threw in a lot of really big concepts. I'm trusting that this is going to land for the right people at the right time, with the capacity to potentially fully understand what the heck I'm talking about. Or this might kind of start to go over your head, but you're catching some of it and it's starting to plant some seeds. It's starting to sprout in your mind as a possibility of what's to come in this reality and how you can start to prepare for it on an energetic level, on a mindset level, so that when these big changes are coming with AI and technology and robots and all these things, you're not feeling behind and you feel genuinely like you can cooperate, collaborate with this technology to live a better life rather than living in fear. Lastly, one thing I want to say, because again, there's a lot of fear around like AI and technology and all that. Notice that any fear that comes up around anything, really, AI being one of them, that might actually be highlighting the fears that you're holding in your body, in your mind already about just in general. And then there's this one thing that collectively it seems acceptable to be scared of because it's something new. You might be directing your fear energy towards that. But this is also a great time for us to really reflect how has fear been showing up in my life and my business in general. And if I didn't have that thing that everyone's talking about that, is potentially creating and amplifying that fear, what am I really scared of? And again, that might go back to the questions of who am I? What are my gifts? Why am I not using my gifts? What is my purpose? It might go back to that. And so anyways, if you guys are curious about what I'm creating in June, Rebirth Coaching Program, that's going to be an activation into the abundant reality that you get to live in, feel free to comment below. I'll also post my Instagram and also my Calendly link. If you are serious about it, you can start to apply and hop on for a consult. I'm really excited. I'm holding a vision that we get to create this ripple effect of abundant mindset that gets to, widespread everywhere so that we are prepared. By the way, another thing really quickly, my clients know this. One thing that well, by the way, it got so dark. I'll share with you guys really quick this beautiful sunset just because it's really beautiful. One thing I wanted to say is that, more than ever, by the way, this kind of goes along with what we're talking about. Our language is going to be so important. Our ability to ask good, powerful, quality questions, it's going to be more powerful than ever before. If you think about anything like ChatGPT, Google, it's not so much about what you know, it's about asking the right questions. So we will be touching on that in that group coaching program. We will also be addressing language patterns that actually keeps you stuck and then reinforces you feeling stuck and staying in that fear-based mindset. So we will be talking about all of that, and I will be providing evidence-based and tested exercises that's going to help you out of that, but also help you train your language patterns so that you not only access the abundant reality that's already there for you, but stay there and then reinforce that reality over and over and over again so that you can literally be the creator of your reality in a way that feels really good for you. Anyways, oh my gosh, it's got so dark while I was talking. Again, thank you for joining. My name is Yuri Choi. I'm a performance coach for CEOs, leaders, and entrepreneurs, and high achieving professionals in general. If you have any questions for me, let me know. That was so fun. I hope you guys had fun listening to this. It opened up some, ideas for you, inspirations for you, or maybe points of reflections for you. Or you're starting to just like feeling more expansive, thinking about these different concepts. I'd be happy to make more videos around this. I feel like, again, I talked about a lot of things that might actually be newer concepts. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Other than that, sending you so much love, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day.